DeepSeek-R1 and RooCode is absolutely insane. You can build apps, tools, websites in one single click. I'll show you exactly how to do that today. Let's get straight into it. First place you want to start, if you don't have this already, is you want to make sure that you have Visual Studio installed. That is completely free. You can download it for Mac, whatever you want. And once that's done, you're going to see the program that looks like this. Now, once you've done that, then you're going to go to Extensions. And over here, you want to make sure that you've got RooCode, which was previously known as RooCline, directly installed as an extension. Once you've done that, you can then scroll down and you will find RooCode right here. Now, what you'll notice is I've plugged in my Open Router API key. This allows me to switch between APIs, but it also allows me to select from the list all the different versions of DeepSeek, right? Now, here's what's wild. There's actually a free API called DeepSeek-R1 free, along with R1, Distilled Llama, and Nitro. Pretty wild stuff. And that means you can use DeepSeek-R1 for free, from what I can see, directly as an API. Now, if you want to get access to OpenRouter, all you do is you go to openrouter.ai. Then once you've logged in, you're going to go to your key section over here and just create a new key that you can copy and paste directly into your settings inside RooCode. And that is how simple and easy it is to get started. So let's get this party started. We'll test out the free one right here. We're going to hit done now, and we shall start a new chat. Now, also, what's pretty crazy about this, before we get into that, is that if you switch between APIs, you can even build something with DeepSeek-R1 and RooCode, and then have the AI, using the methods that I'll show you later, actually analyze the page, as you can see right here, and use that to rebuild the page and make it look better. So using the methods that I'll show you later, the AI can just browse your internet, check all the project that you built, and then boom shakalaka, is on it one step at a time. All right, so if you want to get this set up, all you're going to do is you're going to start a new chat like you see. And if we say, for example, build Space Invaders, it's now requesting the API. And you can see we are using the free API from DeepSeek-R1 Open Router to start building out whatever we want. How crazy is that? Literally, look at the settings. DeepSeek-R1 free. Look how much that's cost us. Free. You can build whatever you want for free using this method. It's wild. I can't believe it. What a time to be alive. And you can see it's now starting to build out the project. So you can see now it's going to create a new HTML file with canvas element for the game. It's going to add game logic, include basic styling and score display, and then use JavaScript to build it out. And basically what this is doing, this is a no. All I've done is literally said, build Space Invaders, mate. And it's just gone off and built out a whole coded project, and we don't need to touch it at all. How crazy is that? Now I'll show you loads of other stuff that you can build using this process, and I'll show you how to use the browser method as well later on in this video, but it's unbelievable that you can do this. Now, I can see here that the API request is being a little bit slow, so I'm going to switch over to the main version of DeepSeek now, just to start getting the ball rolling, because I'm recording the video, and we don't want to spend all day here. So I'm going to switch now, type in DeepSeek-R1, Distilled Llama. Distilled Llama is probably the fastest model. It's like a distilled model of, it's basically like a distilled version of DeepSeek-R1, but it's using other models, for example, like Llama, and you can also run those models locally if you want as well. But bear in mind, this is still coding using the free API. So now it's completed the Space Invaders game, we can run the command, and look at that. Space Invaders ready to go. I can move the arrow. I'm waiting for the Space Invaders to come get me, but that game was just created in literally one single prompt using a free API. How crazy is that? All right, let's keep the ball rolling now. So now I'm going to say, okay, build a simple to-do list app. And whilst we're waiting for that to build out, let me show you some of the stuff that's happened since RooCline has renamed to RooCode. So this is the GitHub page for RooCode. And you can see here, it said this is our biggest update yet. And I'll explain why this is super important. So basically what you can do is you've got these custom modes. So you can basically create an entire team of AI agents with deeply customized prompts. So for example, you can have an imaginary AI team coding your business, coding whatever tool you want. So for example, you can have a QA engineer who writes through test cases and catch edge cases. Then you can have product managers who excel at user stories and feature prioritization. Then you would have someone for UI and UX design, when I say someone, who can craft beautiful, accessible interfaces. And then finally, you've got code reviewers who ensure everything ensures quality and maintainability. It's crazy because these sort of coding tools, if you can't see it already, are going to replace AI coders in the future. Mark Zuckerberg was talking about this recently. He's saying that Meta AI, his version of AI, is going to be replacing a lot of coders, especially engineers at the company. So it's pretty wild to see what's happening. Now, if we go back to our simple to-do list app, Again, that has cost us nothing. Look at that, dollars API cost. Let's run it and see what happens. And now we've got the to-do list app. Now, the benefit of using DeepSeek-R1 versus other models is that it just codes almost perfectly. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it does the job. Let's test this out. So I'm going to put on the to-do list app, test out DeepSeek. We'll add that as a task. Boom shakalaka, we can tick it off once we've done it. We just built an app in seconds that used to take coders hours, if not dozens of hours, if not hundreds of hours to build out these different apps. It's just wild. Like, I have zero coding experience and I can do this. So anyone can do this. So now we're going to go back to DeepSeek. Like you can see, we're going to start a new chat and you can just click on start new task. And one thing that I've got set up here to make coding faster, this is important to note, is that we have the auto approve feature on that. Now, you don't have to do, that's totally up to you, it's your choice. But what that does is it allows you to make code changes quicker without having to click approve every single time. Because the problem is, if you don't allow auto approve, then it can't do without your freedom. So it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. And also you can see here, we've got use NCP servers. I'll explain what that is in a second and how that works. But yeah, this is crazy stuff. Now here you can see in this dropdown, we've got a choice between code, architect, and ask. Now, if you click on edit, you can have custom instructions for each mode like we were talking about. All right, so for example, architects, and it says you are a software architecture expert specializing in analyzing code bases. I think that's the update they're referring to inside RooCode. And then you've also got ask, and then you've also got code, right? So you've got all these different options and you can just basically give custom prompts to your team to figure stuff out. Additionally, there's this option that support prompts. You can have, for example, people to explain the code, enhance the code, fix issues, improve the code, etc. So pretty well what you can do. You get a lot of customization if you want to go into that, and it just gives you a lot more freedom and control over the process, and you get better outputs, right? Far more than, for example, something like Bolt DIY or even Lovable, these no-code tools, because you can really customize the prompts, the APIs. You can do this all locally as well, so this is all stored locally, and you can just come back to the project whenever you want it. And yeah, pretty amazing stuff. So let's try another one now. We're going to say create a beautifully designed snow day calculator, SEO optimized for the keyword with actual content on the page, plus a relevant tool. One of the best things about this model, DeepSeek-R1, is that it's a logic and reasoning model. So it's great at coding, it's great at thinking projects through, particularly, for example, like if you're building a game or an app, where if you mess up one of the steps, the whole thing messes up, right? So that's the benefit of this, say, versus using something like DeepSeek version 3, or for example, like ChatGPT 4.0. The logic and reasoning models are much better for just understanding the process and thinking it all out for you. So you can give it a tiny little prompt. You don't have to give it something complicated, and then it will just go off and do its magic. And now we have the snow day calculator ready to go. Even launched the page from the command. Absolutely amazing. How insane is that? So next up, let's start looking at this. So I promised you that I would show you how you can get AI to start using your browser, check the tools, improve them, iterate them, etc. Basically just use the internet and improve your tools without you. So what you can do is inside the settings, so make sure you go to settings, and then you're going to select the model. You can still use OpenRouter, but you're going to make sure the model is 3.5 Sonnet, right? And this basically supports computer use, and it supports images, so it can see the images and it can also use your computer. If we click done on that, you can now see, if we scroll down the chat, that it can actually preview your tool. And then it's like looking at the screenshot, I notice a page could use some visual improvements. Here's 3 things we can improve, right? So add a winter theme background, the calculator card could use more visual appeal, and we should add some winter themed icons to the tip section. So we were talking about building out a better team. This is almost part of the team as well, because now you've got an AI agent that can basically quality control the front end, check the tool, make sure it's good, improve it if it's not good, and then see where we go from there, all right? So as an example of that, here's the previous image, right? And here's the new image, right? So this was the previous version. It's added an icon there. It's added a nice little sub-headline. It's included some more emojis, and it's also changed the CTA from calculate to calculate chances. And you can see it's actually testing it there. So I actually typed in Boston to test out the tool, and then it's running through. So it will click calculate chances, like you can see inside the browser. So basically what it's doing is literally not just previewing the tool, not just running it, but also step by step. And then it's scrolling down the page, as you can see right here. I'm not clicking this. This is in a virtual environment, like you can see. And then it's added this section inside here too. So pretty powerful stuff that you can just go off. You can basically go off, make a cup of tea, get your content QA'd, iterate on it several times, and then come back once you finish your cup of tea and you're ready to go. So let's run this new version of the tool right now, and we've got it right here. So this is the quality controlled version from Claude. It just looks much nicer. It looks and feels much nicer than it previously did. Pretty wild stuff. What you can also do is inside the settings, and this is the beauty of OpenRouter, is you can just flick through the models as you feel like it, right? So you don't have to stick to DeepSeek-R1. You could use DeepSeek Chat or DeepSeek-R1 Nitro. I'm sure that sounds like a faster version. I'm sure on OpenRouter's website you can get all the details on these things. And then if we actually type in free, you will see all the free versions of the APIs that you can use. So DeepSeek-R1, Gemini Flash Thinking, like these are really new models. Like Gemini only just came out last month for Flash Thinking experimental. And then you also got like Meta, Llama, Qwen 2.7, Instruct, B, Microsoft Phi, Mistral, etc. Really crazy stuff that you can just use all of this for free. And you can do it locally, you can do it for free, you can do it in no click. Coding is so accessible for the whole world now. You can build whatever project you can ever imagine. Now, the final thing that I want to show you is how to host this bad boy, all right? So if we just go back to DeepSeek-R1 free, and then you're like, right, well, how do I host this? What on earth do we do here? So there's a couple of ways. Number one, if you just want to preview it, you can ask RooCode to do that inside the chat, or you can just grab and drop the file like you see right here. So if we grab and drop the Space Invaders file, you can see it's ready to go. Now, what happens if you actually want to host a website? You actually want to get this bad boy up and running on a custom domain. So you can go over to Netlify, you can click on Add New Site, Import an Existing Project, drag and drop the folder. So we've got the folder there, we'll drag and drop it, and then you can just get that hosted. Right? So that's your project file, and there you go. We've got one page from the website ready to go, along with all the other files that were uploaded, and we could just click on the different pages, right? And that was so easy to just get it hosted and set up. Now, what you can also do is inside domain management, if you click on Add a Domain, you can then, for example, put your custom domain that you want to host a website on. So, for example, I don't know, spaceinvadersdeepsea.com. Wouldn't recommend that because that's a brand name, but I'm just showing you the example. And then you can register that domain. Again, wouldn't use a branded name, but you just get the idea for like how you can set up a custom domain. That's it. And it's as easy as that, my friends. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get the video notes from today, including one use cases for RooCode, feel free to get that link in the comments and description. Inside this free SEO course, you'll get 28 video lessons and SOPs and step-by-step tutorials on exactly how to do everything to get more leads, customers, and sales. Additionally, if you scroll down to the SEO system section and then click on RooCode, you will find all the video notes from today, along with all my best prompts, for example, for DeepSeek-R1, ChatGPT, traffic diversification. We even have a module on AI agents inside here. It's pretty wild. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to book that, and we'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits this month, generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales and autopilot on this free link building acceleration session. You'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of link building, or answer any questions you have. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors link building, and how to 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.